Hi all, my name is Avinash and I welcome you to my YouTube channel, The Divine Spark. In our earlier video, we have seen how the one infinite consciousness experiences this reality as dreamlike. We have known how consciousness is seen in multitude of beings and yet remains one and immutable. We have seen how consciousness experiences this existence but is ever untouched and pure. We have seen how consciousness is unaffected by pleasure, pain, birth, growth, death, etc. We have seen how this universe cannot exist independently but is always dependent on consciousness for its support. We have seen how the one infinite consciousness experiences this existence within him and not outside of him. We have also known that the infinite consciousness is able to achieve this by his infinite energy called Shakti, who creates such an experience of illusion within him. Before we look into Shakti, who by her Maya or illusion creates a universe which is experienced by consciousness as dreamlike, let us look at a quick diagram that shows an overview of our earlier discussions for our reference. From our earlier videos, we have deduced that our existence is intelligence or consciousness, energy, and matter. The source of this consciousness, energy, and matter has to be infinite consciousness, infinite energy, and infinite matter. This infinite consciousness, the source of consciousness, is Ishvara. The infinite energy, the source of all energy in creation, is Shakti. The infinite matter, the source of all matter in creation, is Prakriti. We have seen that the source of Prakriti, that is, all matter, is Shakti, the infinite energy. This is because energy can be converted into matter and vice versa. Also, energy and matter are conserved in creation. They only change from one form to another and never lost. From Upanishads, we have known that the infinite consciousness is God, the supreme being who is the source and support of energy and matter. There exists only pure infinite consciousness before creation, with all energy and matter perfectly returned or at rest in the infinite consciousness. Such a pure infinite consciousness is called Nirguna Brahman, and infinite consciousness with energy and matter is called Saguna Brahman. Now let us look into the intermediate stages of Brahman, the one infinite consciousness. The intermediate stages are basically an apparent transformation in infinite consciousness where he, the consciousness, is associating himself with his Shakti or energy. This happens in step by step stages where consciousness shifts his awareness from himself, that is I, to his energy, this, thereby having a relationship similar to subject and object, the self, Maya, or knowing aspect and the known aspect. The stage is completed when the focus or awareness of consciousness is same or equal between the two, consciousness and energy. Brahman, the one infinite consciousness, has two aspects to it. In one, he is transcendent, is called Supreme Shiva or Nishkala Paramashiva or Parasamvit. In Parasamvit, the I and this exist as one undistinguishable unity. In another, he is creative and eminent, and he is called Shiva Tattva, and Shakti is called Unmani or Shakti Tattva. The intermediate tattvas are Shiva Tattva or the Shakti Tattva, Sadashiva Tattva or Kala, Ishvara Tattva or Bindu, Vidya Tattva or the Maya Tattva. Let us look into the first aspect, the Nishkala Paramashiva. In Nirakara Brahman, that is, when Brahman is formless, Paramashiva and Parashakti are indistinguishable from one another. That is, they cannot be differentiated. This is a state before creation and after dissolution. All matter, that is, Prakriti, is consumed by Parashakti, and she, Parashakti, returns to her abode, the Paramashiva. Brahman remains in this state for some time before he wills to create the universe. In our earlier video, we have discussed the potential causes behind the will of the Supreme Lord Brahman. This is a state of complete inactivity and rest. The great Lord is here called Nishkala Shiva, Kala meaning action or activity. Nishkala means without activity or action. This stage is completely devoid of any objective experience. The one consciousness alone remains. In this stage, there is no I and this experience, that is, no subject object experience, no Shiva Shakti separation. Both are in perfect union. This stage is Parasamvid, meaning that which is beyond all tattvas or attributes. Next, we will see how this perfect existence transforms into intermediate tattvas. Shiva Tattva is the first creative moment, Prathama Spanda, of the unmoving Paramashiva. Shakti Tattva is only the negative aspect in the Shiva Tattva. Hence, Shiva Tattva is called Shunyati Shunya, the ultimate void. It is an experience in which the self is not looking at any other but himself. It is Shunya because it is empty of any objective content. Shakti Tattva, as spoken of by the will or Ichha of Shiva, is yet unmanifest and inseparable from him. In Shiva Tattva, the Shakti Tattva, that is this, is withdrawn from experience so that only I experience alone remains. The Shiva Shakti Tattva is not an emanation because it ever remains the same whether in creation or dissolution. It is the seed or the womb of the whole universe. Next, Sadashiva or the Nada Tattva. The first emanation or manifestation or abhasa of consciousness is called the Sadashiva Tattva. In Sadashiva Tattva, there is the commencement of the first subjective formation of ideas. It is called Naimesha, closing of the eyes, as contrasted with Unmesha, opening of the eyes. In Naimesha, the universe as Shakti is seen only faintly. The self hazily experiences itself as an object. It is the first step in evolution and last in involution. In Unmesha, it is a distinct blossoming and externalization of the universe. The this is faintly perceived by the I as part of the one self. The emphasis, therefore, is on the I side of the experience. This is the source from where the avatars come. Next, the Ishvara Tattva. This stage is of the developing consciousness, the Ishvara Tattva. The universe is experienced as this by the I distinctly and yet as part of, and not as separate of, and not separate from the one self or consciousness. As in the last stage, the emphasis was on the I, that is consciousness. Here it is on the this, that is the Shakti. This tattva is called Bindu in Mantra Shastra. It is so called because consciousness here completely identifies itself with the universe as unmanifested this, and thus subjectifies it and becomes with it a point called Bindu of consciousness. The next stage or tattva is known as Vidya Tattva. In experience of this stage, emphasis is equal on I, that is consciousness, and this, that is energy. By equality of I and this, experience is in the state of readiness for the next stage in which the two are to be severed by the Maya Shakti. Thus, in Paramashiva, there is no I and this. In Shiva Tattva, there is I experience. In Sadashiva, there is I this experience with emphasis on I. In Ishvara Tattva, there is this I experience, with emphasis on this. In Vidya Tattva, there is I this equality. To sum up, the Supreme Existence, Parasamvid, has a creative aspect called Shiva Shakti Tattva, which is consciousness of Aham, that is I, which gradually experiences the Idam, that is this, as part of itself. At first, faintly with predominant I as the Sadashiva, then clearly with predominant this as Ishvara, and finally equal with I and this as Vidya, ready for severance by the Maya. Thus, we have seen how infinite consciousness transforms and prepares himself to project the creation by identifying himself with his energy, Shakti. In our subsequent videos, we will discuss further transformations that will bring about creation in its full glory. We will discuss how Maya Shakti of the Lord brings about this creation. Thank you.